What's up, Bear Nation? It's Bear with BearIndependent.com. How many times are we going to say bear? Bear, 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 bear. There we go. Bear, there's a lot more gray in your beard. COVID, businesses, ministries, kids, wife, homestead. Yeah. Yep. Happens. Listen, get your house in order. And I mean this literally and figuratively. Figuratively, what I mean by this is this populist notion that one man or one woman is going to set the tone for a nation of 340 million people is ridiculous as far as I'm concerned. If you've been around this channel for any length of time, you know that I'm a huge fan of personal responsibility and that we should not abdicate the throne of personal responsibility just because there's some politician, not a politician, a businessman, whatever, somebody in a position of power that resonates with your thoughts and feels. Now, I think it's good to have people in positions of power that resonate with your thoughts and feels, but your job, is to operate from a position of strength. And you do that, for me, by being right with the Father through his Son, and therefore being able to have a healthy, successful relationship with my wife, which allows me to have healthy, successful relationships with my kids, which makes my house strong, which then allows my strong house to operate within our community, to help those people, and our community operates within our town or our city, which makes that strong. And strong towns and cities make up strong counties. Counties make up strong regions. Regions make up strong states. And states make a strong, moral, ethical, prosperous, equitable country. It's a bottom-up approach, baby. Top-down certainly has its merits. But where the real work gets done is bottom up. And if your house isn't in order, you can't do that real work because you will be distracted. You will have your tires spinning. I can just never get anything done. Your house is out of order. So get your house in order. Take personal responsibility. Well, what happens if they make me do that thing that everybody has to do that I don't want to do? Don't do it. Well, then what? You know, people have been figuring this stuff out for millennia. Go someplace else. Do something else. Abraham left Mesopotamia. I walked around a freaking desert so that he could get to Egypt, Canaan, that whole region. Yeah, it wasn't a short walk either. I'm sitting behind one of our refuge medical facility, and you know, it's Oklahoma. There's rednecks driving around blasting Leonard Skinner. Can't fault them for that. So, anywho, people move, improvise, adapt, overcome. Semper Gumby. Maybe you need to be a little bit more Gumby. Well, it's scary. Yeah, life is scary. You got a 400 trillion to 1 chance of being a human being. You're gonna sit around and bitch about something being scary? Oh, it's uncertain. When, in the history of humanity, have we gotten so comfortable with the idea of certainty? Death and taxes, homeboy, death and taxes. That's what's certain. Everything else is up for debate. Everything else is flexible. Semper Gumby. But in order to Gumby, your house has got to be in order, right? So set your house in order. Now, as far as the coming unpleasantness, whether that's balkanization or a near-peer conflict with China or Russia, whether they be proxy wars or war actual, or the economic crisis that is looming. By the way, COVID-19, our favorite supervillain, Klaus Schwab, from the World Economic Forum, said that COVID-19 is the reason we need the Great Reset. What does the Great Reset do? It breaks the economic backbone of the entire world, necessarily, so that people will be begging for worldwide institutionalized socialism. They'll be begging because that's better than starving to death. That's better than having no resources, no mobility. It's all about the economy. What did Reagan say? It's the economy, stupid. Yeah, it is. Shut down the world economy for the Wuhan flu. And then tell people they can't go back to work unless they do this thing, which hinders the economy as well. And then let a whole bunch of people go who won't do the thing. Still bad for the economy. They're already conditioning us with supply chain interruptions and shortages to come to expect this, because it's going to get worse and worse. The coming unpleasantness, it's going to get worse and worse and worse. And when it does, people will be begging, please, sir, may I have another? I will happily go stand in that bread line because it's worse. It's better than starving to death. So what can you do during the coming unpleasantness, however that may shake out? Although I'll tell you, again, I'll reiterate for people who are new here, I've got 3 things that I'm constantly tracking. And I mean gathering intelligence on. And by intelligence, I don't mean watching Fox News. 3 things. The first is food shortage, right? That's a thing. It's happening. Global food prices are up 30% in the last 12 months. Remember, war is a game of resources. And the ultimate resource is an army marches on its what? Its stomach. Right. So food shortage, food scarcity, economic collapse. Everybody is running their mouth. Oh, we spent $1 trillion in Afghanistan and we're just going to pull out. And I'm not even going to get into pulling out of Afghanistan. Horrendous, the way that we did that. Whether or not we should have. The way that it went down. Clearly a lack of leadership. But $1 trillion in Afghanistan. In the first 6 months of this current administration, we've spent $5.3 trillion. $1 trillion to prosecute a war for 2 decades, or $5.3 trillion in social spending in 6 months. Yeah, economic collapse, anybody? And then the last is civil unrest, or as Pastor Joe Fox at Viking Preparedness so eloquently puts it, people behaving badly. I think we are going to have some form, if you drew a Venn diagram with 3 overlapping circles of civil unrest, food scarcity, and economic crisis, right there in the middle is going to be us in the relatively near future. How relative, Bear? How soon? How much future? I don't know. 3 days from now, 9 months from now, 2 decades from now, I don't know. I have no idea. But I imagine it will be during our lifetimes. And it may come like a thief in the night, brothers and sisters. It may be here. It might be on us in 72 hours. It might not. I don't know. Which is why we prepare. Getting back to getting your house in order. Many times, I feel like one crying in the wilderness. I wish y'all would listen to me. And I'm heartened that so many of you have. One of the things I love about going out in the world on these training events, in-person meet and greets, stuff like that, is getting to meet y'all, shake your hands, look you in the eye, and hear stories of what you're doing. It heartens me to know that y'all are listening and are doing the things. But many people are not. A lot of you who are watching this right now, are using this as mental masturbation. I'm gonna go watch some prepper porn. What does Bear have to say? What do all the other channels have to say? Oh my, I'm gonna get spun up in a tizzy. I'm gonna gather some new talking points for this person I wanna go talk to. Yeah, okay, cool. Go do the things. Stack your food to the rafters. To the rafters. Why? I'm not getting in that bread line. I'm not getting on the bus. I'm not going to where the bus is. I'm not doing that. I don't want your camps. I don't want your community protection facility. I don't want any of that. And so I need to be able to maintain a comfortable distance from tyranny. So I need to be able to feed myself and everybody that I love. I need to be able to protect myself and everybody that I love. In order to do that, I need people. Because one man, one woman, a man and his wife, let's say, cannot pull security 24/7, 365. At some point, you got to sleep. You got to trust the people who are pulling security for you while you're sleeping, which gets into form groups, MAGs, mutual assistance groups. Right now, find people. I like to tell people, date people, fall in love, figure it out. Which means you have to build context with people, which takes time. So if you're not already doing this, you're behind the power curve. You need water. Huge aspect to preparedness that most people are falling flat on their face on. You need water collection. You need water storage. Water storage is literally a battery, okay? A battery is a thing that holds a quantity of other things. We think of battery with an electrical charge, but a battery, right? It's a storage container. You need a way to store that water. That's the water you're gonna be using. 3 gallons per person per day. Well, I only need 1 gallon to survive. First of all, you're wrong. Take your body weight, split it in half. That's how many ounces you need for non-strenuous activity every day to not be dehydrated. And 2%, under that number, you begin to get dehydrated. And the physiology of humans is incredible. If you eat real food and drink enough water and get the appropriate amount of sleep, 7 to 8 hours, and breathe, you're a superhuman. Did you know that? Your body just comes alive. It's like, yeah, we could cut that tree down, but why? We'll just rip it out of the ground with our bare hands. So, not only do you need water for hydration, you need water for sanitation, basic sanitation, and you need water for food preparation. So it's not just how much do I need to drink, it's how much are we going to consume as we conduct our lives. And at the minimum, it's 3 gallons per person per day. So you need rainwater storage, or storage that comes out of the faucet or whatever. And then you need a way to gather more, because water is bulky and heavy. You could maybe store a month's worth of water. Maybe. You know, for a family of 5, 3 gallons per day is 15 gallons per day. In a month, that's 450 gallons. That's 9 blue drums, 9 of them. Or 2 or 3 IBC totes. That's a month's worth of water, rationed at 3 gallons per person per day. And sooner or later, you're gonna want to take a bath. See my point? So you need a way to refill those 9 drums, or a way to refill those IBC totes. Rainwater catchment, pitcher pump on your well, year-round stream or creek, whatever. You need a way to keep them refilled. Where you gonna poo, bro? It's another huge aspect that I see people ignoring. You know how many people I've had tell me, I am pooping in a bucket, composting toilet. Okay, cool guy. Nice Mystery Ranch backpack and Bravo Company AR and Oakleys and badass boots and, you know, Cry JPC plate carrier and blah, 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 blah. Where you gonna shit? You don't want to poop in a bucket? I see what you're all about now. You're just playing. You're just playing. Anybody who has done the things knows this is a consideration we must take. Open any field manual that is relative to field operations, and one of the primary considerations is, where's the latrine? So, where is your latrine? Right, food, water, security. Pooping. People. Commo and intel. Get your house in order. What's your commo plan? What's your intel plan? What's your network look like? How are you gonna run that network when the cell phones don't work? Well, that's only if there's an EMP. Hurricane Michael, Florida, Panama City, Mexico Beach, Florida. Power was out for 10 days, more in some places. There was no commo. So it was without rule of law for those people for 10 days to 2 weeks, because law enforcement, firefighters, and EMS could not be dispatched and would not go to the scene, even if they were, if somebody came and informed them, because they couldn't guarantee the safety of their personnel, because that personnel in the field had no way to communicate back to base to say, hey, these people are shooting at us, or hey, we need an ambulance, or this house is on fire, and it could set the house next to it on fire, right? No commo. So how are you going to communicate when traditional commo plan is gone? What does your network look like? And 1,000 other things. If all this is blowing your mind, or you feel like you need to go deeper with that, we have an entire playlist here called the Prepper Classroom on YouTube. It's free. There's 30 plus episodes of it. You can work, and they're whiteboarded, laid out, where you can work your way through each one of these subjects that we're discussing. Do you know the difference between geographic north and magnetic north? And do you know how that applies to an offset to use a map and a compass to navigate? Get your house in order, because you don't need to be a bear follower. I don't want 125,000 followers. I want leaders. I want, selfishly, what I want for you. Impose my will upon you. What I want for you are pockets of independence and faith and freedom out there in the wilds, operating with autonomy to maintain normalcy to the best of your ability for the people that you love. That's what I want out of this. And you can't do that if you're not strong, and if your house isn't strong. So get your house in order. Thank you for being here. Shout out to our patrons for supporting the show. We wouldn't do this without you. Down here in the bottom, you can click the little baby bear. That'll take you to Patreon. It's like $5 a month. There's tons of exclusive content over there that never sees the light of day on YouTube. There are more Patreon videos than YouTube videos, and I have over 1,500 YouTube videos. So take that into consideration. Also, if you're new here, you can hit the little subscribe button, ring the little bell. YouTube will pretend to notify you when we go live or when we drop a new video. I appreciate you, Bear Nation. Go do the things. Be about the work. Don't just be about the talk. Be about the work. Bless y'all. Shalom.